Last week on Monday Night Raw, the WWE Universe was left stunned and speechless after witnessing one of the most shocking and heartbreaking betrayals in recent memory. What was supposed to be another chapter in the ongoing saga of the visionary, Seth Rollins, turned into a devastating night that would change everything for him. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, two men he had trusted and believed in, turned their backs on him in a brutal and humiliating fashion. In front of millions of fans watching around the world, they dismantled Seth Rollins both physically and emotionally, crushing not only his body but also the foundation of trust he had built with them. It wasn't just an attack, it was a message. And it left Seth Rollins lying broken, both inside and out. As the camera cut away from the chaos last week, fans were left wondering what would become of Rollins, a man known for his resilience and passion, but now visibly shattered. Tonight, however, the atmosphere is very different. Instead of the bright lights and roaring crowds, the camera captures a more intimate, somber moment backstage, a place usually filled with energy and tension, now heavy with silence and emotion. The scene opens in a dimly lit locker room. The air is still, and the usual background noise of chatter and movement is absent. The camera pans slowly across the room until it settles on Seth Rollins, sitting quietly on a wooden bench. His ribs are wrapped tightly in medical tape, clear evidence of the beating he endured just days earlier. His head is slightly lowered, his hands clasped together as his elbows rest on his knees. His face tells a story that words cannot, one of pain, betrayal, frustration, and heartbreak. His usually confident smirk is gone, replaced by a vacant stare directed at the floor beneath him. He looks like a man lost in thought, replaying every moment of the betrayal in his mind, questioning how everything fell apart so quickly. The silence lingers for a moment, the only sound being the faint hum of the overhead lights. Then, softly, the door opens. Becky Lynch, his wife and fellow WWE superstar, steps into the room. She pauses for a second, taking in the sight of Seth, her husband, the man known to the world as the visionary, reduced to a quiet, wounded soul. Without saying a word, Becky walks toward him. Her movements are slow and gentle, showing a mix of care and concern. She kneels beside him, placing a comforting hand on his shoulder. Seth doesn't look up immediately. He simply exhales deeply, the weight of his emotions visible in the rise and fall of his chest. Becky doesn't push him to talk. She just stays there, her hand firm yet tender, silently offering her strength. Her eyes, filled with empathy, speak volumes. It's a silent message between two people who have been through battles, both in the ring and in life, together. They understand each other without needing words. Becky sits down next to him on the bench. Together, they stare ahead, not speaking, simply sharing the quiet. For a brief moment, the camera captures the raw humanity behind the larger-than-life characters they play. This isn't the man and the visionary. This is Becky and Seth, two people united by love and pain, trying to find strength in each other after everything has crumbled around them. A long silence passes. Seth's breathing steadies, and his posture begins to change. His slouched shoulders straighten slightly. His head lifts, his jaw tightens, and his expression shifts. What was once the look of defeat slowly transforms into something else, determination. The pain in his eyes remains, but it's now mixed with fire, with resolve, with the kind of inner strength that has carried him through every trial in his career. Becky glances at him and gives a small nod, a look that says everything she doesn't need to speak aloud. It's a look that says, "You've been knocked down, but you're not done. You're Seth freaking Rollins. You'll rise again." She gently pats him on the back, a gesture of both reassurance and encouragement. Seth takes a deep breath, then rises from the bench. The sound of his boots hitting the floor echoes through the empty locker room. He adjusts his jacket, his movements deliberate and calm, as though preparing himself for what's to come. He turns to face the camera. For a long moment, he doesn't say anything. He simply stares into the lens with intensity, his eyes burning with unspoken rage and determination. It's a powerful image, a man betrayed, hurt, and humiliated, now standing with renewed purpose. His silence says more than any promo ever could. The glare in his eyes tells the world that the visionary is far from finished. The Seth Rollins that everyone saw last week, broken and defeated, is gone. In his place stands a man ready to fight back, ready to reclaim his pride, and ready to make those who wronged him pay for their betrayal. The camera lingers on his face for a moment longer before slowly fading to black. The silence of the locker room transitions into the distant echo of the WWE crowd, hinting at what's to come. The story of Seth Rollins' downfall has been written, but tonight marks the beginning of something new, the rise of a man determined to redeem himself and remind the world why he is one of the best to ever step foot in a WWE ring. His redemption story is not about vengeance alone. It's about proving that no matter how many times he's betrayed or beaten, he always finds a way to rise from the ashes. Seth Rollins has always called himself the Visionary, and tonight, that title takes on a new meaning. It's no longer just about seeing the future of the business. It's about shaping it with his own two hands through pain, sacrifice, and determination. The betrayal by Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed may have been a devastating blow, but for Rollins, it's also the spark that reignites his drive. This moment of silence and reflection with Becky isn't just emotional, it's symbolic. It's the calm before the storm. Every great comeback begins with a fall, and this is his turning point. The next chapter of Seth Rollins' journey is about to unfold, and it promises to be one of the most compelling in WWE history. He's been betrayed by allies, abandoned by those he trusted, and left to stand alone. But that's exactly when he's at his most dangerous. The WWE Universe has seen Seth Rollins in many forms, the Architect, the Kingslayer, the Visionary, but now, they're about to see something entirely new, a man reborn from betrayal, a fighter driven by purpose, and a legend refusing to die quietly. As the episode ends, the narrator's voice reminds viewers that redemption begins next week on Monday Night Raw. The words hang in the air like a promise, hinting that Rollins' story is far from over. Fans around the world are left with a renewed sense of anticipation, knowing that whatever comes next will be unforgettable. The closing shot fades into the WWE logo, accompanied by the faint echo of Rollins' iconic laugh, a sound that once symbolized arrogance, but now carries the weight of defiance. After betrayal, after heartbreak, after being left broken and alone, Seth Rollins is ready to rise again. The Visionary isn't done. In fact, his true vision has just begun. His redemption will not just be about proving himself to others, but about reclaiming his own belief in who he is and what he stands for. As Raw prepares for next week, one thing is clear: Seth Rollins' fire has been reignited, and his road to redemption is about to light up the entire WWE Universe. His enemies may think they've ended him, but in reality, they've created